welcome back to another YouTube video. This is episode number 6 now with the James Bond reviews. So let's get straight into them. Now in this video we actually start off with a brand new Bond, George Lazenby. George Lazenby was born on the 5th of September 1939, so he was 30 years old at the time of recording and uploading of this film. Because he was a new Bond, we do not get his face yet. He's actually an Australian actor, hence why he only did the one film, because back then you had to actually be English to be Bond, but they thought they'd let him off just for one film, but he didn't get along with the producers, so he left anyway. That's a good bit of trivia. Pretty good opening scene to the film. One woman casually just steps out into the ocean and James Bond saves her. He's wearing a very similar shirt and overall clothing to what Roger Moore wore in Three Eyes Only. Just thought I'd throw that in there. And finally we do get a reveal of his face with of course the line, "My name is Bond, James Bond," which is definitely a good touch to the opening sequence. And sure enough, some bad guys show up, have a good bit of classic opening scene Bond action before of course the title sequence and the music, which is actually very good on this one. Louis Armstrong also did one of the tracks of We Have All the Time in the World, very good songs. Also played in No Time to Die. Of course, James Bond wins the fight, and he talks about Sean Connery, which is also actually quite funny. Could be come across as quite cringy, but I actually think it's quite good. So next up, we get actually not just a Bond girl, but actually James Bond's wife. She was played by Diana Rigg. She was born on the 20th of July 1938, so she was actually older than him as well. He was actually 31 at the time of recording. So yeah, it's actually pretty big news actually back in the day for the women to be older and him to of course marry her. So yeah, again, pretty good stuff. He sneaks into one of the rooms, however sure enough that is a bad person showing up, and the fight sequence is a little bit better than the last one. So Tracy then pulls out James Bond's gun, but of course James Bond gets the upper hand, and we of course have a cast of MI6 agents with Desmond, not actually Louise, it's actually Lois Maxwell, and of course Q, played by Desmond, who we'll see in a minute during the wedding. Now James Bond actually tries to resign from MI6, and we also get, as of course, his relic selection, so that this is indeed the same James Bond, like Sean Connery and etc. That actually is the same character, just really linking the two characters, which I think was actually really good to just show that this is the same Bond, because many people said that there could only be one Bond and it was Sean Connery, but no. George Lazenby definitely, in my opinion, did a very good job as Bond. James Bond is, instead of resigning, giving a 2-week lead. That character there is Gabriel Farisi, who plays Mac. He is born on the 17th of March 1925 and is an Italian, but he's in Portugal. Yeah, I don't really understand that either. Anyway, jumping forward several scenes. James Bond is knocked out on a bed next to a girl. Most of the stories are like that in Bond, aren't they? And we then get, well, it's Christmas first of all, and then we get Blofeld, who is in this one played by Telly Savalas, who was born the 21st January 1922. So slightly older than the last Blofeld, but I actually think he did a very good job as Blofeld. I don't know, generally the role suited him better. He of course doesn't really look at all like a Blofeld, but I definitely think he plays the role very well. I mean, I couldn't imagine Donald Pleasant doing any of this stuff. He just sat behind a desk, didn't he? And his plan is simple. He's basically going to biologically destroy the Earth and all the plants on it. Personally, I think that's a bit of a too abstract stuff, even for Bond. I mean, really, some guy using biology to destroy the world, I don't really make any sense of it. But I think it's still alright. And then we get our skiing section. which 1 hour and a half into the movie, it's about time we feel some action, but indeed this definitely does deliver. It's great skiing, and even Blofeld is actually chasing after one, which again, like I said about Donald Pleasence, definitely could not do this, but Telly Savalas definitely could. Actually, that is actually, just for your own knowledge, that is not the same cat from the last film. Eventually, James Bond managed to only ski with one ski. I personally could not do that. But he crashes, so it doesn't really matter. The bad guys get away. So in the climax of the film, Tracy is captured by Blofeld and his goons. And personally in this film, it has to be said, it's pretty unclear whether James Bond actually have achieved his mission or not. Because of course, spoiler alert, Blofeld does actually escape at the end. But then again, that's pretty typical. However, this is the last time Spectre will be mentioned apart from in Diamonds Forever until the film Spectre, which was when, of course, Daniel Craig was Thomas Bond. Sorry, I had to yawn there. Getting bored of my own voice. James Bond, of course, blows the whole place to hell and chases after Blofeld, which, like I said, all of his women are still out trying to biologically destroy the world, and he's still alive. So, again, James Bond definitely hasn't really completed his mission. But that wouldn't make for a very interesting Bond film, so we just assume that everyone's dead and he's all happy and everything's sunshine and roses. Pretty good final fight thing between James Bond and Blofeld. Definitely good to see some hand-to-hand combat between the two. Of course, you know, big, fasting powers, you know, MI6, Spectre facing up against each other. This was indeed filmed in Switzerland, in case you're wondering. So then next up, we of course have James Bond and Tracy's wedding. Very, very good and touching scene. Has to be said, I mean, there's them. It's actually very, very, very good to see actually that he does marry a woman in the end, which I actually thought is, I don't know, whether that breaks the Bond rule. I mean, you know, one woman per film, I don't really know. If they just speak in dating compared to actually just married, I don't really know. However, unfortunately, Tracy does actually get killed by Blofeld and that woman who is basically just a resemblance to the bloke from Russia with Love. And indeed, Tracy dies. Has to be said, it's a very, very sad ending to a Bond film. I mean, you don't really get this stuff from James Bond. I mean, this is the only film where Tracy actually dies. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.